Hi everyone, welcome back to Let It Cook, the cooking channel. Today it's the second best potato salad in the world. For that we need potatoes. These are mainly waxy potatoes. I cooked them for 25 to 30 minutes. Cooked ham, mayo, pickles, parsley, Dijon mustard, peas, tomatoes, creme fraiche, and eggs, which I cooked for 7.5 minutes. Why the second best potato salad? Well, because the best potato salad in the world already exists. It's right here. Yeah, if you don't know it yet, my most successful video on YouTube, check it out. All right, let's begin. I've already cooked the potatoes and eggs. It's practical. You just put the potatoes in boiling water, then add the eggs once it's boiling. Boil the eggs for 8 minutes, cool them off well, then let the potatoes cool down. Unlike the other recipe, the potato slices for this recipe shouldn't be warm, okay? They don't need to absorb anything because today it's a potato salad with a mayonnaise base. Okay, let's get started. First, I'll go ahead and cut up the ham. For me, a little bit of ham just belongs in a mayo potato salad. I'll just stack them on top of each other here. Just any kind of cooked ham. I bought some organic cooked ham here. I admit it's from a package because the butcher was closed. But for a potato salad, that's fine. Okay, then I'll go ahead and cut the pickles. I have cornichons here, but of course you can use regular pickles too. It doesn't matter at all. Just cut them into rings like this. Here in Bavaria, potato salad is actually usually made with broth. I would say the further north you go, the more likely you are to get one with mayo. Both types are good. Personally, if I have the choice, I prefer the Bavarian one over the one with mayo, but that's just a matter of taste. It also says there's an onion in the description, right? I didn't leave out the onion. Please add the onion just before you serve the potato salad. If you add a raw onion now, the onion flavor will spread throughout the whole salad. You won't taste anything else. That's why I'm leaving it out for now. And tonight, before I serve it, I'll just mix in some fresh onions, a bit of chives, or even a shallot. Depending on what you have at home, you'll get a light onion flavor. That works really well, but just don't do it too early, okay? That's enough pickles for me now. Now I'm going to have these beautiful tomatoes. Why am I emphasizing how beautiful they are? Because I grew them myself on my balcony. They turned out to be great tomatoes. This is my first attempt. Unfortunately, the tomato plant has already died because I'm a total failure. Well, I don't really want to say that. My plants are pretty good, but when it comes to fruits and vegetables, I haven't had much luck yet. I'll admit that, honestly. So this is my only yield from this tomato plant. I'll definitely try again. Feel free to write in the comments what I did wrong. I think it was too much water from all the rain while I was away. When I returned, the tomato plant was ruined. God is among you, help me out. How can I make the tomatoes better? So lastly, the parsley. Just roughly pluck them off these stems. By the way, those frozen peas I have over there, I just put them in a sieve and held them in the boiling water for 2 minutes while the potatoes were cooking, and then rinsed them with cold water, okay? That way they're a bit nicer to eat. And here, just cut underneath. Loyal fans know I'm not a big fan of pulverizing parsley. During my apprenticeship, I always had to chop it into a mush. It doesn't help at all. It looks terrible and doesn't taste good either. So just leave the parsley a bit coarser. If you don't like parsley, leave it out. But it doesn't make sense to lose the essential oils to the cutting board so that in the end, the stuff doesn't taste like anything anymore, right? You might as well leave it out. It's better to use it freshly chopped. Then we can already start with the dressing. I always like to add a bit of creme fraiche so it doesn't get too heavy on the mayonnaise, okay? You can also add sour cream for those who don't want it so rich. Yeah, but basically you can do it however you like. Now we're going to add a bit of this pickle juice, okay? So a few tablespoons. That just makes the whole thing nice and creamy. That also gives us the vinegar flavor right away. If at the end it's not salty, not vinegary enough for you, then just add a splash of vinegar. Yeah, but I wouldn't use any fancy schmancy vinegar here, just something like a regular white balsamic, or maybe some apple cider vinegar or something like that. That fits this dish better. I'm adding another splash of that pickle juice. It's not quite liquid enough for me yet. There. Exactly. Then we can add the mustard. I'll let it go. This is a Dijon mustard. That's why I used a little less. If you have regular mustard, you can add a bit more. Yeah, Dijon mustard just has a very strong flavor. Now we'll add a pinch of sugar. Not much. Sugar is unhealthy. A pinch of salt. And even now, not too little, because the potatoes always soak up some of the flavor from the potato salad over time, right? A good pinch of pepper. So let's take the whole thing here. Okay. Now add peas. That's a bit too many peas. Let's leave a few out. Now add the cherry tomatoes. I'll leave a few for decoration on top. I leave a little bit of each ingredient on top. Yeah, it just looks nice when there's something colorful on top. Then I add the pickles. The parsley. Now just mix the dressing. Oops, carefully, slowly, like this. Honestly, you guys also left out a little splash of vinegar. I mentioned it earlier when I added it, but I didn't record that part. So I added a little splash of apple cider vinegar. No, that's perfect, just like that. We don't need much more seasoning. Now we'll add the potatoes. Use a nice salad potato, yeah. It usually always says salad potato on the label. If it doesn't say that, it's best to use a mainly waxy potato. Yeah, or a waxy one. Not a starchy one, otherwise you'll just end up with mashed potatoes. And that's just not so nice, yeah. I could almost add a bit more mayo, but I don't have any left now. I also always break up the potato slices a bit, yeah. I don't really like it when there's such huge slices. That's why I always chop up the really big ones a bit. And even if you prepare it now and take it with you to the barbecue tonight or whatever, you definitely need to stir it again before you put it on the table. Taste it again, yeah. Because it loses some of its flavor, and of course the guests should get it at its best. Now I'll quickly chop up the eggs. You can also use store-bought hard-boiled eggs just fine. The problem with snack eggs is, first of all, they usually still have a bit of color on the outside. I don't think that looks very nice. If you cook them yourself, I cooked mine for 8 minutes. You don't need to cook them until totally dry. You can leave them slightly soft in the center, okay? You can see it nicely here. They're not hard, but still have a slightly soft center. And of course, that tastes much better than when the yolk is already crumbly. Okay? Then let's plate it. I'll put it in a new bowl because this one is a bit messy now. Yeah, it doesn't look so nice for serving like this. But of course, you can also leave it in there. That's obvious. Now we can arrange the eggs on top in a nice star shape. Probably because we don't need as many. Well, yeah, now a bit wider since I cooked so many. Let's sprinkle a bit of ham on top. A few little tomatoes, something colorful so it looks good too. Mark can also add a sprig of parsley on top. And a bit of pepper. I really like these slightly soft-boiled eggs, I admit it. And now, my dears, let's dig in. Enjoy. I'll get another little egg. What should I say? Simply delicious. Cook it yourselves, my dears. See you next week. Have fun grilling. Enjoy the sun if there's still any left. See you soon on Let It Cook, Koch Canal. Take care. Bye.